We have passed through the fire of awareness and diagnosed the diseases in our systems. We have fasted from what poisons us and remembered the ancient tools left of our liberation. Now we arrive at the most critical, hopeful, and active phase of our journey, the planting. This episode is not about a final violent clash with the old system. It is about turning our backs on it and tending to the new world already growing in its shadow. It is a quiet blueprint for building parallel systems of food, finance, community, and education, creating pockets of sovereignty where we can breathe free right now. This work is not for the loud or the impatient. It is for the steadfast, the cultivators, as the Greek poet Hesiod, a near mythical figure who rivaled Homer, taught us. The great builder god, Eros, does not work through destruction, but through the patient organization and differentiation of matter. Our work is the same. We are not here to tear down the old orchard in a single day. We are here to plant new, resilient saplings, nurture them, and build the trellises that will allow them to bear fruit for generations to come. This is a quiet revolution, a relentless cultivation. Before we plant a single tree, we must prepare the soil of our mindset. The classical philosophical view tells us that to build the future, we must understand the relationship between life, time, and mind. Life is in constant motion, evolving and changing. This means our new systems are part of a natural evolutionary process. This is a limiter, but also a revealer. There is a season for all things. The mind, however, is our most powerful tool. The Greek myth tells us that Zeus, the mind, ultimately defeated Cronus, time. This is a profound metaphor. Our conscience-developed minds can overcome the limitations of time. We can plant a tree whose shade we know we will never sit under, and in doing so, we use our minds to shape time itself, bending it toward a future of our own conscious design. This is the essence of the 7-generation principle, practiced by the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, which instructs us to consider the impact of our decisions on the 7th generation to come. When we apply this to our blueprint, every action is infused with deeper meaning. Building a local food co-op isn't just about cheaper groceries. It is about ensuring our great-grandchildren inherit a system that nourishes them, body and soul. This long-term thinking is the antidote to the short-sighted, quarterly profit-driven mindset that drives these predator systems we are leaving behind. An orchard is a perfect metaphor for this work. It is a planned, productive, and life-sustaining ecosystem. To build our own, we must move from the theoretical to the deeply practical, establishing rows of resilience in our 4 key areas. The toxic food production complex relies on our passive consumption. We break this power by becoming active producers and conscious distributors. Start a community orchard or garden. This is the most literal form of planting the orchard, whether it's a few fruit trees in a shared neighborhood plot or a larger community effort. This act transforms consumers into stewards. The design principles are straightforward. Choose the right crops for your climate, ensure proper spacing for sunlight, and orient rows north-south to capture the most light. This isn't just horticulture. It is a direct reclamation of control over what fuels our bodies. Support community-supported agriculture. By subscribing to a local farm's harvest, you create a parallel economy that funds the farmer, not a corporation. You share the risk and reward, creating a direct human-to-human economic relationship that bypasses the industrial complex. Preserve and prepare. Learn the ancient arts of canning, fermenting, and dehydrating. These skills make our local harvest last through the seasons, creating year-round food security and independence from the global supply chain. The predatory financial system thrives on our dependency. We build our parallel economy by rerouting the flow of energy and capital. Move your money to local credit union. Credit unions are not-for-profit cooperatives owned by their members. They invest deposits back into the local community through small business loans and mortgages, rather than funneling wealth to distant shareholders for speculative gambling. Create and join mutual aid networks. These are hyper-local systems where community members pool resources to help each other directly, covering a medical bill, sharing tools, providing groceries in a crisis. This is the modern organized application of the ancient wisdom found in proverbs from all traditions, such as the African saying, "Rain does not fall on one roof alone." We formalize the understanding that our well-being is interconnected. Develop barter systems and local currencies. Exchange skills and goods without using federal currency. A plumber fixes a baker's sink in return for bread. A local currency backed by the trust and productivity of a community keeps wealth circulating within it, building resilience against national economic shocks. The government school system, as it has been rightly called, is often designed for standardization, not for raising sovereign critical thinkers. We must fund students, not systems. Explore alternative education models. This includes homeschooling co-ops, micro-schools, and unschooling. These models allow for education tailored to the child's innate curiosity and the family's values, free from ideological capture and standardization testing. Become a mentor and share skills. The oldest form of education is the apprenticeship. Offer to teach what you know: carpentry, coding, financial literacy, gardening. In doing so, you create a living library of practical knowledge that can never be deleted or censored. Curate your own library of the awake. Collect the wisdom texts we discussed in episode 8. Read the Stoics for mental resilience, the Bhagavad Gita for disciplined action, and indigenous wisdom for connection to the land. Make your home a center of timeless knowledge. Just as a young fruit tree needs a trellis for support, our new system requires strong social structure. A trellis provides stability, allows for efficient growth, and ensures the plant doesn't collapse under the weight of its own fruit. Build reliable communication networks. Establish community signal groups, email lists, or ham radio networks. Ensure that you can communicate and organize with your neighbors independently of corporate controlled platforms and infrastructure. Establish shared space and tools. Create a community tool library so no one needs to buy a power drill they'll use once. Secure a shared space for meetings, skill shares, and childcare. This reduces individual consumption and builds collective capacity. Practice conflict resolution. A community that cannot navigate conflict will not endure. Draw on the wisdom of traditions like Akan of Ghana, who uses proverbs in legal discussions to settle disputes and uphold justice. Learn non-violent communication techniques to maintain the strength of your social trellis. This is not a single weekend of activism. It is a lifelong orientation. It is the quiet cultivation that Hesiod championed, a song of peace that ultimately outlasts a song of war. It means going about your day with intention, fixing a door with your own hands instead of calling a landlord, reading a label and refusing to buy a product with unpronounceable ingredients, having a conversation with a neighbor about forming a buying club. The orchard we plant may not look like a monolithic world-spanning empire. It will be a patchwork of resilient, self-sufficient communities connected by shared values and mutual aid. It will be a world where, as the philosophical seeker understands, we are actors in our own lives, not spectators dragged along by circumstances. The most beautiful part about this blueprint is that it's already happening. Someone somewhere is planting a tree today. Someone is moving their money to a credit union. Someone is teaching a child to read outside a standardized curriculum. These are not small, insignificant acts. They are the quiet, relentless cultivation of a future worth inheriting. You have felt the chains. You have seen the key. You have studied the ancient maps. Now pick up your tools. The soil is waiting. Let us go and plant our future orchard.